So another video, another road trip with only one prime lens. I just came back from the Shimane prefecture where I traveled with 2 friends for 5 days, and it was another opportunity to travel with one camera and only one prime. In the last video I did something similar and traveled with my 50mm and nothing else. We often hear that we should never change a winning team, so obviously what I did is going for something different. So this time I brought a 35mm lens, and it was the Sigma 35 f2 precisely. And the route I planned was going predominantly to places I've never been, so I wanted something a bit wider to capture whole scenes. The camera didn't change though, it was still the Sony A7C II, and with that, let's start with a shoot I had early morning in Mihonoseki, a little port town on the eastern tip of the Shimane Peninsula. As I walked only a few meters after going out from the hotel, I saw this scene that felt quietly nostalgic. The bus, aged but still almost intact, is framed by this unfinished concrete structure and the pale walls around it. There's a stillness in the scene, no people, no movement, just traces of life frozen in time. The muted color palette and the soft light make the whole scene feels like it's waiting for something to happen, or maybe just slowly fading away. What really made me press the shutter here is the soft cream and faded red colors, which I thought worked well together. After taking a few shots that were not very special in any fashion, I made my way to this big stone lantern. I like the soft sunlight filtering through the leaves, adding a gentle glow without overpowering the frame. I placed the lantern on the right third as it acts as the anchor point of the frame and gives it structure. The bridge is here to add a touch of color obviously, but I also find interesting that we cannot really see where it leads to, leaving a slight sense of mystery to this quiet morning scene. Then going on the bridge, I opted for a tilt shot to give my photo a bit more dynamism and just a better flow with the 2 big red handrails coming from both sides of the frame, creating leading lines to the shrine. The curve of the bridge already invites movement, but tilting the frame makes it feel even more like you're being pulled forward. I also like the wear on the bridge, hinting at the fact that it's been here for a long time. Where this shot falls short is the payoff. The shrine is very small and not really up to the rest of the other elements in the frame. I also wanted to take a shot of the stone lantern only, and it was heavily backlit with the sunlight finally just peeking above the hills in the background. The backlighting softens everything around, the hills, the town across the water, giving this photo a gentle, glowing atmosphere without distractions. The stone lantern is cleanly isolated against the bright sky, almost like a silhouette, but still holding a lot of detail. This is a typical situation where trying to protect your highlights at all costs would not work. It is normal that the sky is very bright, almost fully white without details, and it is the effect I wanted for this shot. After that I spotted this little building by the water, probably what used to be a seafood joint but now left to decay. I tried several compositions here. The first one is tighter, more focused on the building itself, the wear, the old equipment scattered around, and the morning light bringing out the textures. It feels a bit more intimate and quiet, like you're discovering this little forgotten spot by the sea. The second frame steps back and includes the car, and that small change gives it more context. Suddenly it's not just a lonely building anymore, it's part of a larger, still used space. The car anchors the scene in the present, contrasting with the slightly abandoned feel of the building. I think I prefer the version with the car. There's a good synergy, the car doesn't overpower the building, but adds a subtle layer of life to it. Then, as I moved closer to the sea and could see the breakwater in the distance with another nice stone lantern and a few people fishing, I wanted to take a minimal shot showcasing this simple scene. When there is more visibility, you can see the Mount Taisen in the background, which is sometimes compared to the Mount Fuji, as his shape can look very nice and symmetrical depending from where you look at it. Due to the haze, we can really see a hint of it in this frame, which I quite like because the main subject and point of interest in this frame remains the breakwater and the people fishing. But I also played with other variations of this scene by including other things in the foreground of the frame. I think the one I took through this crane-like machine is a bit gimmicky. It's a good idea, but it just breaks the stillness and the beauty of the landscape too sharply. This other one with just the tip of the boat is a bit missing the point, as the foreground element is not big enough and almost just a distraction. My 2 favorite ones are this one with the boat cabin on the right side of the frame and the one with the building on the left side. They frame things up a little bit more tightly, they add texture and suggest more activity without taking away from the stillness of the background. Here I noticed how the light was hitting some colorful elements like the yellow bucket, the reddish flower pot and the wild wheat. It really made them stand out against the surroundings that were a lot cooler and less colorful. It's messy and chaotic, but I like this photo, I must say. After that I made my way to the major shrine of this little port town. Once I got closer from the main hall, I looked back and really liked how the light came from the left side, creating long shadows, highlighting the greenery and just making this frame dynamic and contrasty. There's also the succession of the two tories at the entrance that looks pretty cool, and the tree on the right in the foreground is here to create depth and give kind of a 3D effect to this photo. Then I walked around the shrine, capturing scenes and angles that I found interesting. When I went out of the shrine, the light was just perfect on these two tories. I thought a vertical shot of the juxtaposition of both tories could work well, so I tried. I had to make several attempts, adjusting my position and the position of my camera to find this angle that worked. The torii in the foreground is here to frame the second one in the background, while creating depth without adding too much visual mess. The second shot was more simple, straight on, showing the first torii with that light coming from the top left corner, splitting the frame in half with a bright and dark side. I just wish the car behind the pillar on the left side was not here. I like the glow on the front window, but not really how it is cut in half. In the last video I said that I cannot command birds to fly right where I want in my frames, but here it seems that the bird listened to my prayers. He just flew right on the top left corner to give this shot the cherry on top it deserved. The light was coming from the side to create beautiful contrast on the building on the right, no clouds in the sky and no lines or disturbing element on the parking pavement. A very satisfying frame. After that, I went back to the hotel to have a beautiful and filling breakfast with local fish and delicacies. The right thing to do to gather some strength to go for a little hike that went to the top of the mountain and leading to the Mihonoseki lighthouse. In the afternoon, we visited a beautiful Japanese garden. It's the Yuushian, not far from Sakai Minato and located about halfway from Mihonoseki and our place for the next night. The greens were bright and fresh, and it was not the biggest garden I have visited, but one of the most beautifully maintained. I don't have GoPro clips from there, so I'll let you appreciate the footage and the photos without me talking too much. Then I found one of the most mystical ryokan I have stayed in my life so far, located in a very big temple complex next to Yasugi City, still in the Shimane prefecture. Once again, I woke up earlier and had a stroll in the temple before everyone else. I think what I said in the last video is very valid now that I traveled with only a 35 right after only a 50mm. 35 is still probably the lens I would go to if I had to pick only one lens for the rest of my life, but with a 35mm I'm a lot more location and light dependent than I am with a tighter lens like a 50mm. With that said, the video covered only half of this trip, so another video will follow up. Thanks for watching this one, see you soon, bye.